Liam, obviously you were, unused in the match the other evening. I take it that didn't stop you and the other guys who weren't actually playing getting involved. It seemed like the squad as a whole were able to participate in the celebrations.
Yeah. I think rightly so. We all celebrated, but I think obviously disappointed not to be involved. But you leave that disappointment at the door before you enter the dressing room. I think that's a big factor, that we all, whoever's playing, the other lads are right behind them. And obviously when we conceded late, we all came down we were sat in the stands and just tried to get the boys, to lift themselves back up. And having dominated all of the game, it was important to do that and believe that we could, still go on and win the game. And I think they did that brilliantly through extra time, and obviously all the boys that took the penalties.
And you'll know now, I guess it was always the case that you have to play well to get in the team, but now you know that impressive performances are key to you being part of the finals when they come around.
Yeah, 1000%. And I think, for myself, missing out on the semi-final, I was just desperate to do everything I could to get back and be a part of this camp, and just thankful to be around the team and just be part of the celebrations. It was an amazing experience, and yeah, I'll be doing everything from starting with the next couple of games if given the opportunity, and back with my club, just doing all I can to make the squad in the summer.
And after the exertions of Thursday evening, for all the players who were involved, particularly the ones that played Sorry, I was just saying, after the exertions of the other evening, for the guys who particularly played the full 120 minutes, you would imagine there's going to be changes for the Slovakia game and maybe the Israel game as well, and a chance for the likes of yourself to get involved and state your claim again.
Yeah, definitely. I think anyone given the chance, from now on in, will be desperate to, like you say, stake a claim and show what you can do. And it's we've seen what the Nations League can be for us in terms of qualifying for a major tournament. The proof's almost in the pudding, and the other night, where we want to continue that now over the next 2 games and put ourselves, cement our place at the top of the group.
Anthony?
Yeah. Liam, can you sum up personally what Thursday and qualifying for the Euros means to you?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I started my journey with obviously the national team back when I was 18, and I went off to a training camp with Billy Stark and quite a few of the boys that are still here today, actually, in the dressing room. And I think the group, kind of the core of the group, know each other inside out now, and I think that's evident through where we was kind of a year ago, and how we've kind of been able to galvanise the group, and which the gaffer, rightly deserves a lot of credit for that. You can see that, we're all fighting towards the same goals on and off the pitch, and all just desperate to do well and encourage each other to do well as well.
And like you were saying, you've been part of the Scotland set since you were 18, but being English born and English based, what's it going to be like, the prospect of playing in England at the Euros?
Yeah, I've not quite thought that too far ahead. The concentration's on the here and now, and that is an added motivation to go and do well. But I think, from my family, it's quite emotional speaking to them after the game the other night. Obviously, my nan, my Scottish heritage, she's not with us anymore. But I know she'd have been proud. She'd have had all the street around her house watching, and she was that kind of woman, open arms to anyone, and yeah, just proud, and yeah, the family was really proud.
And from that high on Thursday and yesterday as well, I guess, how do you shift that focus to tomorrow? Yeah,
I think we all celebrated and enjoyed each other's company in the hotel the other night, and rightly so. We saw what it meant to everyone around the country. Families celebrating. We've all seen the videos on social media, and I think that was probably one of the main driving factors, going into the game, knowing that, yeah, like Ryan Christie touched on in his amazing interview, the emotion was there to see, and the boys knew that after a tough year for a lot of people, that we could put a little bit of joy on a lot of people's faces, and just delighted that the boys managed to do that. Yeah.
And finally, Liam, you've got a new manager at Sheffield Wednesday. Have you spoken to Tony Pulis, or what do you think he can bring to Sheffield?
No, not spoken to him yet. Obviously, he got appointed yesterday, and yeah, looking forward to obviously going back and working with him. And whenever I've come across any of his teams in the past, you always know you're in for a tough game, and hopefully he can instill that into us. And yeah, you know, the focus on the here and now, and obviously doing what I can and staking a claim for the next few camps and things going forward. And after we, you know, disperse after the Israel game, the focus will then change on doing everything possible at my club, and obviously meeting up with a new gaffer and things. And yeah, something I'm looking forward to doing. So, thank you.
Liam, it's Sheila here at STV.
Oh, yeah.
When you look back to Kazakhstan and everything that went on there, can you believe how far the whole team has come, and what's been the difference, the main difference you've noticed in that time?
Yeah, I think, you know, looking then and the feeling after that, you know, a major tournament probably felt a million miles away, you know, under no illusion after that. And I think it was more the Russia game when we got beat 4-0 in Russia. And, you know, I think as a group, it can either go one or two ways, and I think that actually galvanised us. And you know, the game kind of after that, I think it was San Marino, and we managed, you know, it's San Marino, everybody expects to beat them, but you know, we beat them 6-0, and I think from then we've not looked back really in terms of yeah, just shoot for the stars. And I think, yeah, like I touched on, the group's so tight knit, and everybody's been desperate to come away and enjoy coming away, and I think that's one of the real factors in our success really, that everybody's, you know, comfortable with everybody. We're getting to know each other more. You know, these trips, you do spend a lot of time together. There's a lot of time to pass in the afternoon and things. So yeah, I think that's that tight-knit group's something that's helped us along, definitely.
The manager said obviously he will have to make a good few changes given the physical and emotional exertions of the other night. That gives you and other guys a lot of opportunities to state your claim, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think the manager's always been, you know, keen on the squad, and even if the boys that are not involved the other night and in the stands, they're still part of it, they're still training, they're still coming away from their families. And yeah, and everybody will be desperate and chomping at the bit to not only stake a claim, you know, going forward, but also just to maintain that momentum that we've now built. You know, we want to extend that unbeaten run as long as possible, and if we can do that, you know, hopefully cement our place at the top of the group, like I said, and yeah, and just look forward and keep moving forward together.
What's the biggest quality or the most impressive quality Steve Clarke has, in your opinion? Yeah,
for me, I think the way he works, you know, he always keeps on an even keel. He never strays from his principles and what he believes in, and that's something that he's always on at us to do, whether it's, you know, believing in our principles, going into games, the formation, the tactics, always just sticking to the plan and believing in ourselves, and also you know, the plan that he's set for us.
So it would seem that he trusts the players and the players trust him.
Yeah, I'd echo that 100%, and I think he's seen obviously the group before he came in, you know, looked at maybe some of the boys' ages and the amount of caps, and probably looked and thought, yeah, we've got a real chance here to, you know, to build a nice group, and he's managed to do that, definitely, yeah.
Steve spoke a lot in the last few days about positivity. He's been trying to make sure that there's a lot of positivity in the camp, and maybe that helped over the penalties, for instance. How has that kind of transmitted itself to you as players?
Yeah, I think, you know, you look at some of the boys in the squad and some of the things they've won and they've achieved, you know, at club level, and obviously they've brought that, and you're trying to look at how they conduct themselves. You know, take Robbo as a prime example. Do you know what I mean? He's one of the best examples you can take, and you know, in terms of looking up to a captain, there's no one better. And yeah, I think, you know, before the game the other night, he spoke about just going into the game with that sense of what success it could bring, not looking at the kind of the fear of failure. And I think that's something that resonated with myself as well, and not only in football, but, you know, in anything you're doing, you know, just looking towards that, like you say, that positive side of it.
And just going back to the celebrations, I mean, have they, enjoyed watching them from here as well? It was important as a squad that you had that moment together, that once you achieve something, you share it and you enjoy it, because that will help kind of continue fostering that team spirit as you go on.
Yeah, it's only going to help build that squad camaraderie. And looking around the room in the hotel the other night, some of the staff members, rightly so, deserve a lot of credit as well, not just the manager and his coaching staff, but for example, the club doctor's been around the international scene for a number of years, and just seeing the joy and emotion in his face and others alike, do you know what I mean, that's been striving towards this for a number of years and being able to deliver that for them and their self. And yeah, just a fantastic atmosphere all around.